This is going to be a very, very simple and very quick tutorial on beginning Python 3 programming. I'm just going to show you how to do the regular, standard Hello World program, as well as to store a couple variables, add them together, and print them to the screen along with some text. It's, the great thing about Python is that it's a very straightforward language. It's very easy to learn. It's very high level, so you're basically writing in English. It's not very complicated and the commands are pretty easy to learn. So hopefully you will enjoy the tutorial and you will learn something from it. I'm going to start off by showing you how to install Python 3 in case you don't actually have the updated version. So I'm just going to the Python distribution website. There's the URL up there, python.org/download. I'm installing it for Mac simply because I'm on a Mac, but they also have the installation for Windows and for whatever other type of operating system you're on. So this is the page where you go and actually find the installer, and I'm going back to the Mac page. And it's actually very simple to install, just like a regular application. Python is actually already installed on your Mac if you have a Mac, but the problem with that is, like it says on here on the website, usually that version is outdated. So I'm going to show you the one that's currently on my Mac. This is a 2011, it's updated, and the Python that's on there is actually only 2.6.1. So that won't really work if you want to be coding in Python 3, and that's why I'm going to show you how to download it. So I'm just going back to the Python page and just going to click the 3.2 Python 3.2 release. That's just the current production distribution, and because I'm doing a Python 3 tutorial, that's why I chose the 3.2 and not the 2.7.1. So here are all the different options for different operating systems. I chose the Mac OS X 64-bit/32-bit. And I've already installed it on my computer, so I'm just going to show you how you go about installing it on yours. You just double click on the application, double click on the package icon, and install it like a regular program. You can choose which hard drive you want it to be installed on, and I'm not going to go through with it just because I already have it on my computer. So if you go back to your terminal and you type in Python 3, it will now load the Python 3 release and not the the built-in 2.6.1 release. So now is when the real fun begins, because I'm going to show you how to do your first program, which is usually the Hello World program, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do here. I'm using just a regular text editor, and all you write is print, open bracket, hello world in quotations, and then you close your quotations and your bracket, and that is it. And actually I should say parentheses, not bracket. And that is it. That is your first Python program. I'm going to save it as helloworld.py. .py is the extension for a Python program, so the computer will recognize it. You can see over there. And now I'm going to run it with the terminal. Super easy to run as well. So all I'm going to do is go into the terminal, make sure you're in the directory where your program is stored. And I'm just going to type Python 3 and then the name of the file with the extension. Press enter. And there you go, Hello World is displayed to the terminal. That is probably the simplest program you will ever write, certainly in any language. I mean, Python is it makes everything so simple. And now I'm going to show you how to do something a little bit more complex, although still pretty straightforward. I'm just going to assign some variables, these numbers, 3 and 4, and then add them together. And the great thing about Python is that you don't actually have to worry about the type. So people who have programmed before will understand what I'm saying when I say you don't really worry about the type. Basically that means you don't have to declare A and B variables as being numbers, as being an integer. It'll just automatically do it for you. And then when you want to print the value of C to the screen, it's just print, open bracket, the variable name, and then you close the bracket. So no quotations there. Put in the same thing you did before, and there you go. You have Hello World and then 7. So it's important to recognize that if you want to print what's called a string, which is the Hello World text, or a variable, it's basically the same command except you use quotations for the string or the text and no quotations for just printing the variable. And here I'm going to show you an example of an actual string. So I've named it string underscore x, typed in some text with quotations, and then print it to the screen. And even though this is text, because it's stored in a variable, you don't need the quotations. So like it says there, just print string x. And there you go, it prints to the screen. And that is a very, very simple introduction to Python 3.